I've always wondered why Chelsea don't look within the Premier League for some gems. The Premier League has some really, really good players. I mean, if you look at where we want to perhaps strengthen next season, or in the next summer, in terms of left-sided player, left back, left wing back, maybe defensive midfielder, wingers, there's quite a few options available within the Premier League that could be cheap and they're proven players. So these are just some of my selections. You let me know what your thoughts are. You could possibly have more, but these are some of the players that I've plucked out who could possibly make a huge difference.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
Welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about something very interesting. Not much really happening from a Chelsea news perspective, so I thought this is good to bring this particular content out. Looking at some of the possible targets that we could go for. I mean, we're not really linked with all of them, maybe one of them, but it's something to think about. You know, it's something I wish our scouts looked into. The only news that's really floating around from a Chelsea point of view, there's talks about that Stuttgart left back Sousa Bona, but we'll do a separate video on that. I don't know much about that particular player. I don't even think any Chelsea fans know much about it. But today we're going to talk about certain Premier League options that we could look at. First of all, we're going to look at left back, left wing back situation. First name I want to throw to you guys is Mark Cucurella, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I think you can all agree Brighton's done a madness with obviously Lamptey and Mark Cucurella. I personally feel they're both Champions League level, fullbacks. Lamptey, I didn't put him in this particular selection is because one, we've got Reece James. Two, we're probably going to get back Tino Livramento with the buyback clause with Southampton. So I didn't put Tariq Lamptey, but Tariq Lamptey definitely deserves to be here. But first of all, from a left-sided point of view, Mark Cucurella, ladies and gentlemen, 23 years old, 1.75 meters. So he's not the tallest, but at the end of the day, as a fullback, you don't necessarily need to be that tall. Spanish background. The issue is obviously he's got a long-term contract till 2026, 20 million as per transfer market. I mean, tenacity, pace, has got that ability to put in really good crosses. Just the engine of a left-sided player. I know for Brighton, in terms of stats-wise this season, he hasn't been great at all. But then again, that's Brighton. If you put him in a very attacking sort of situation with more attacking players, quality attacking players, as good as Brighton players, they lack that striker. So obviously this season, 19 Premier League games played, only one assist in the Carabao Cup. But I've got no doubt this particular player, if he played for a bigger club, a much bigger club with a lot of attacking talents, I think those numbers would be a lot better. I've seen him play, the kind of delivery he has, the impetus he has on the left side is brilliant. So for me, Cucurella is one of the options that we should be looking at. I don't understand why we don't. Is it because of the contract length, perhaps? Next one, ladies and gentlemen, is Ryan Ait-Nouri. I don't know many of you guys have heard him. I've seen him a couple of seasons ago when he first joined Wolves. I think it was a match against Southampton. I like this kid's ability on the left side. He can play, as a left midfielder or a left back. 20 years old, so he's young in terms of, the profile. Height, 1.79 meters, so taller than Mark Cucurella. Contract could be another issue in this situation, 2026, but worth 15 million as per Transmarket. He's got a lot of potential. Another tenacious player, Ait-Nouri. Lots of pace. I remember when Wolves played against Liverpool, he had Salah's number. And as soon as he was substituted off, Mo Salah did a bit of madness on that left side, and they got the winner right at the end. So for me, Ait-Nouri is another big prospect. Wolves, I mean, they've got good scouts. Let's just put it that way. In terms of stats, 11 times played in the Premier League, 3 assists, twice played in the Carabao Cup, 1 assist, FA Cup, 1 game, 1 assist. So not bad in terms of Wolves, who don't really produce that much going forward. They're not a type of team that just goes out there and balls out. So look, he can play as a left mid, he can play as a left back. I've got no doubt he can play as a left wing back. In recent times, he's been playing a lot. He's had a few injuries, no doubt. But I wouldn't claim it as injury prone as yet. He is young, but he's an important player for Wolves. So this one, ladies and gentlemen, another player that we really should be looking at if we're thinking about the left-sided player. I mean, we're looking at in Stuttgart at the moment with Sosa Bona. I mean, what do we really know? Apparently, the scouts are checking him. You've got gems in the Premier League you should be checking out. Okay, so that's left-sided players, guys. Now we're going to go into centre-back. Mohamed Salisu of Southampton. This guy, he is so underrated. He's going under the radar. I don't understand why no one's talking about it. Southampton, they're a bit of a feeder club for Liverpool. I've got no doubt Liverpool probably buy this particular player. Liverpool bought Van Dijk from them. Who else? Many other players previously, Lallana, heaps of other players from Southampton. Mane. This particular player, ladies and gentlemen, Mohamed Salisu, he's not only an important player for Southampton, but he's absolutely rock solid in defense from Ghana background, 1.91 meters tall, so tallish defender, which is perfect. 2024, so it's only 2 more seasons left after this. 10 million as per transfer market value, can play anywhere in the centre back. So, in a back four, perfect, age 22. I mean, this, I don't understand why we don't look at these sort of stuff. Premier League proven now as well, do you know what I mean? Playing for Southampton, doing well. Southampton, it's not like they ball out and, keep clean sheets after clean sheets, but he makes them strong in defense. So this is a particular player I don't understand why there is not enough talks. And I'm sure a team like Liverpool, I can only picture Liverpool out of the top club. They look into the Premier League and they are probably going to snap this player up. 21 matches played in the Premier League. And as you can see, he plays a lot of games for Southampton. In fact, every single game. Let me know what your thoughts are for Mohamed Salisu. I know a lot of you guys like him. For me, top selection. Maximilian Kilman. If we're looking at left-sided centre-back, I've watched quite a few Wolves games. This particular player is a solid centre-back. Solid centre-back. Tall, 24 years old. Aerially good as well. Once again, the issue could be 2026. Transfer, 24 years old. England citizenship as well, so he's putting his hand up for the England national team. 9 million euros as per transfer market. Left-sided player, can play left back, can play centre back. But if we're looking at a left-sided player, someone who can maybe be an option in terms of a backup for Rudiger, Maximilian Kilman. And Wolves have been mean in defense. One of the most meanest defense in the Premier League. So this 21 matches played, 1 goal scored. I'm sure he can increase that. I'm sure he can get better with that from a better team with more quality deliveries and whatnot. But Maximilian Kilman, ladies and gentlemen, this one is once again under the radar and something that people should really think about. Now let's move towards defensive midfielders. Yves Bissouma. I know there's quite a few other ones as well in terms of Ndidi, Calvin Phillips perhaps as well. But for me, the standout is probably Bissouma. 25 years old, 1.82 meters tall, citizenship from Mali, participated in the African Cup of Nations. 25 years, probably just reaching prime. 2023, literally one more season left, ladies and gentlemen. This you could probably try and get a bit of a bargain deal. Transmarket saying 25 million euros. My only concern with Mohamed Salisu is I think it's got to do with his attitude. He's in a similar sort of legal allegation situation, in terms of what's happening with Mason Greenwood. Not to that degree, but Bissouma is in that sort of situation, a lesser degree, I suppose. And there's some litigation, legal litigation that's gone on. That's probably the only thing that's worrying about this player. But recently, Chelsea played Brighton, and he looked like a boss in midfield, honestly. I think him as a defensive midfielder, if we ever want to play 4-1-4-1 as a lone DM, he'd kill it. He'd absolutely kill it. Athletic, robust, full of energy, good on the ball. Whether we need to build from the back, Brighton players, possession-based football, this guy's perfect. This guy's absolutely perfect. He will enter his final season at the end of this season. So, once again, we're thinking about Declan Rice for 100 million, Shermani, which is fine. I get that. They're quality players. But this, for me, this is a bargain. And once again, a Premier League proven player. Now, we're going to look at wingers. Emmanuel Dennis, ladies and gentlemen, of Watford, 24 years old, 1.75 meters. Once again, wingers not necessarily needing to be tall. 2026, which could be a problem, but then again, if Watford gets relegated, you could still snap him up. 8 million euros as per Transmarket. 8 million euros. Let me show you the stats, and you're going to be absolutely surprised. These stats are way, way better than combined some of our attackers altogether. 19 Premier League games played, 8 goals, 5 assists. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Playing for a team like Watford, I mean, this guy just scores goals. That's what he does. Goal against Brentford, goal against Chelsea, goal against Leicester, goal against Man United, Everton. I mean, there's a plethora of goals everywhere. There's 2 assists against Man United as well, 2 assists against Everton. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Can play left side, can play right side, can play through the middle as well. In fact, played 10 matches through the middle. This, once again, I don't know why we're not linked with these type of players. 24 years old. He's only going to get better. Once again, I feel like these are the type of signings other Premier League teams will do. Keep throwing the word Liverpool because they've been behind Premier League players. So I've got no doubt Emmanuel Dennis will probably become a top winger. Next up, Jared Bowen, ladies and gentlemen, having a phenomenal season with West Ham. 25 years old, 1.82 meters taller than Dennis. English background. 2025, so after this season's got 3 more seasons, so could be a bit difficult. 35 million euros as per Transfermarkt. His value has been increasing from that left side, from that right side, cutting in with his left. We've seen what he can do, the damage. Been a standout player for West Ham this season. Let's have a look at the stats, even more scarier than Dennis's. 23 Premier League matches played, 6 goals, 9 assists. Incredible. That's the kind of production that you want to see halfway through the Premier League. Europa League, 5 matches, 1 goal, 1 assist. Carabao Cup, 3 games, 1 goal. I mean, fantastic player. Can play on the right side. That's where he normally plays. 23 matches, can play as an attacking midfielder. 1 game played only. 6 up front. Predominantly a right-sided winger. I mean, everything we kind of expected Ziyech, I suppose, but Jared Bowen is doing that with West Ham. Absolutely killing it. Recent times we've seen that goal and assist over there against Chelsea. 3 assists against Watford. That's incredible. 2 goals against Norwich in recent times, 1 goal against Leeds. I mean, this is fantastic. This is the caliber of wingers that we need. 25 again, just slowly entering the prime. I don't understand. 35 million euros? Why not? Why not? We don't need to look all around the world. There's gems within the Premier League. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, this bad boy baller, Rafinha, another one, 25 years old, 1.75 meters, slowly entering the prime, scored a really good goal in international break as well for Brazil. I mean, he looks the part, seriously. Premier League proven once again. 40 million euros as per transfer market, which is still, I would say, a bargain, considering Chelsea will probably get players like 70, 80 million who are going to end up being a flop. June 30th, 2024. So there's only 2 years left. So there could be some negotiations. And we've seen Thomas Tuchel last time we played Leeds. Post-match, there was some intimate sort of conversation, seemed like, between Thomas Tuchel and Rafinha. Let's have a look at his stats this season. 19 Premier League games featured, 8 goals, 2 assists. The production is good, 10-goal contribution. I mean, once again, this is the kind of winger that you want. Goal against Arsenal, goal against Chelsea as well, goal against Palace, recently an assist against West Ham. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant player. 40 million, I'm sure with 2 years to go in the contract, we could do something there. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts are. So many gems in the Premier League in terms of left wing back, left back, defensive midfielder, centre backs, wingers. We don't need to look all around the world. Our scouts just need to look within the Premier League. And these are just some players that I've noticed. I'm sure there's probably others that you guys might have seen. You let me know what your thoughts are in the players that I've mentioned. If you have any other players that you think needs to be looked at as well in the Premier League, let me know in the comment section below. But we'd love to know what you think about these selections and why, Chelsea are not focusing within the Premier League. Players that are proven. Do you know what I mean? If you've enjoyed this video, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, see ya.